A snake always looked simple to me. No legs, no arms, no ears, just a living rope with a face. It seems like a downgrade from the rest of the animal kingdom, a creature that lost the evolutionary lottery and ended up with nothing but a spine and an attitude. But once I actually started digging into how a snake works, everything changed. I didn't expect to find a creature this over-engineered, this efficient, and this bizarre. Like, there are species of snakes that can literally fly, launching themselves from trees and flattening their bodies into the shape of a frisbee to glide through the rainforest canopy. There are snakes that live their entire lives out at sea, never touching dry land, and capable of holding their breath for hours. The deeper I went, the more shocked I became at how much I never knew. Snakes aren't just evolutionary leftovers. They are highly sophisticated machines that survived the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs, and they did it by becoming one of the most specialized hunters on Earth. And here is something that might surprise you. Snakes didn't lose their legs because they were devolving or falling behind. They lost them because legs were getting in the way. Around 128 million years ago, during the Cretaceous period, the ancestors of snakes were likely lizards that started hunting in thick vegetation or burrowing deep underground. In those tight, claustrophobic environments, limbs are a liability. They get snagged on roots, they break in tunnels, and they create drag when you are trying to squeeze through a hole. So, evolution stripped them away. Saying a snake is just a legless lizard is technically true, but it misses the point. It is a lizard that traded running for something much more versatile. But getting rid of their legs was only the first step. Once they committed to life as a living tube, nature had to reinvent almost every other part of their biology to make it work. This is where the story gets really weird, because to survive without limbs, snakes had to develop superpowers that no other animal possesses. To understand snakes, we need to look at their internal engineering, because moving a long tube without dragging it like a dead weight is a physics problem that requires a radical solution. A snake is basically a tube of pure muscle, powered by hundreds of vertebrae and ribs. While humans have 33 vertebrae and relatively stiff spines, some snakes have over 400 distinct vertebrae. This allows them to move in ways that shouldn't be possible. They don't just slither, they utilize something called rectilinear motion. If you watch a heavy python move, it looks like it is sliding on oil, but if you looked underneath, you would see something mechanical. They lift their belly scales, called scutes, mirroring the exact same principle as the tracks on a military tank. Other snakes mastered physics in different ways. The sidewinder has to move across hot, shifting sand without sinking or burning its belly, so it evolved a movement where it throws loops of its body forward, touching the ground at only 2 tiny points at a time. It is effectively walking sideways without legs. This requires a level of muscular coordination that is hard for our brains to even comprehend. But the physical changes on the outside forced even more drastic changes on the inside. When your body becomes a long, thin line, there is no room for your organs to sit side by side anymore. To fit inside this new shape, the snake's internal organs had to play a high-stakes game of Tetris. Their kidneys are stacked, one in front of the other instead of side by side. The liver is elongated like a rod, but the most extreme modification happened to the lungs. Most snakes only have one functional lung. There simply isn't room in the chest cavity for 2 lungs to inflate side by side, so the left lung is usually vestigial, either tiny or completely gone, while the right lung is enormous, stretching way down the body. Some sea snakes even use part of this lung as a buoyancy tank to float. Even their heart had to become mobile. In our bodies, the heart is locked in a cage of ribs. In a snake, the heart is not fixed in place. It can slide around. This is crucial because when a snake swallows a meal that is bigger than its own head, the food has to pass right by the heart. If the heart couldn't move, the massive lump of food would crush it, and the snake would go into cardiac arrest every time it ate dinner. The most incredible thing about snakes, however, isn't their body plan, it is their sensory system. Snakes perceive a world we literally cannot imagine. You see them flicking their tongues, and to us, it looks threatening or aggressive, but it is actually one of the most advanced chemical detection systems on the planet. They aren't just tasting the air, they're smelling from two directions at once. The tongue is forked for a very specific reason. It spreads out to collect chemical particles from the left and the right simultaneously. When they pull the tongue back in, it touches a special spot on the roof of the mouth called the Jacobson's organ. This organ analyzes the particles and tells the snake exactly where a smell is coming from and how far away it is. It allows them to track a mouse that passed by hours ago through a chaotic jungle environment with the precision of a GPS tracker. But some snakes have a sixth sense that is straight out of science fiction. Pit vipers, pythons, and boas have holes on their faces called heat pits. These aren't eyes and they aren't noses. They are biological thermal sensors capable of detecting temperature changes as small as a fraction of a degree. Inside these pits is a membrane suspended in an air chamber that heats up when infrared radiation hits it. This triggers a nerve signal that creates a thermal image in the snake's brain. They can hunt warm-blooded prey in absolute pitch blackness because the body heat of a mouse glows like a neon beacon to them. It is biological infrared vision, and it evolved millions of years before humans invented thermal cameras. They also hear without ears. Snakes don't have external ear flaps or ear canals, so for a long time we thought they were deaf. We were wrong. They have a bone in their jaw that connects directly to their inner ear. When a heavy animal walks nearby, the vibrations travel through the ground, up into the snake's jawbone, and straight into their hearing center. They listen with their chins, using the earth itself as a massive eardrum to detect footsteps long before they can see what is coming. Sensory superpowers are only half the story. The real question is, how does a tube with no claws and no paws eat something bigger than its own head? The myth is that they unhinge their jaws. They don't. That is a total misconception, because if you unhinge a joint, you effectively dislocate it and lose control. Instead, their jaws are double-jointed and connected by incredibly stretchy ligaments. The two sides of the lower jaw aren't fused together at the chin like ours. They can move independently. This allows them to walk their mouth over their prey, one side at a time, like a ratchet system or a conveyor belt. But here's the problem that confused biologists for years. If you shove a massive animal down your throat, how do you breathe? If you or I tried to swallow a watermelon whole, we would suffocate in seconds. Snakes solved this with a piece of anatomy called the glottis. It's basically a snorkel on the floor of their mouth. When their throat is completely blocked by a massive meal, they can extend this muscular tube out the side of their mouth, past the prey to suck in air. They can literally keep breathing while their mouth is completely stuffed. This is extreme biology at its finest, solving problems that seem impossible to us. And then there is the weapon that makes them infamous: venom. Venom is one of evolution's most elegant chemical weapons, but it is also one of the most misunderstood. Just like with spiders, snake venom is actually modified saliva. Millions of years ago, genes that produced proteins for digestion mutated. Instead of just breaking down food in the stomach, they started breaking down blood cells and nerves. Over time, snakes developed delivery systems to get this toxic saliva into their prey. Some have rear fangs that need to chew the venom in, which is a messy and primitive method. Others, like vipers, developed the ultimate injection system. They have long, hollow front fangs that fold back against the roof of the mouth like switchblades when they aren't being used. When they strike, these fangs swing forward and inject venom like hypodermic needles. And this venom is incredibly complex. It isn't just one poison, it is a cocktail of dozens of different proteins and enzymes. The inland taipan has venom so potent, a single drop could kill 100 men. But why? Why evolve something that powerful just to kill a small mouse? The answer is speed and safety. Snakes are fragile. If a rat fights back, it can scratch the snake's eye or bite its spine. Venom allows the snake to strike once and back off, waiting for the chemistry to do the work. But it does more than just kill. Venom starts digestion from the inside out, before the snake even swallows, breaking down cell walls and liquefying tissue. We also have to talk about the giants, because snakes didn't just stay small. After the dinosaurs died out, a snake called Titanoboa evolved in the swampy jungles of South America. It was 42 feet long and weighed over 2,000 pounds. It was so big, it could have swallowed a modern crocodile whole without struggling. This monster proves that the snake body plan isn't limited by size. It scales up terrifyingly well when the climate is warm enough to support it. While Titanoboa is gone, its cousins, the green anaconda and reticulated python, are still here, reminding us that these are apex predators capable of ruling their ecosystems. But what really surprised me is that snakes aren't the mindless eating machines people think they are. We tend to project a lack of intelligence onto them because they don't have facial expressions. They just stare. But recent research is changing everything we know about the reptilian mind. King cobras are the only snakes that build nests for their eggs and guard them aggressively, showing a level of parental care and planning that is rare for reptiles. Garter snakes have been shown to have social structures. They prefer to hang out with specific other snakes, essentially having friends, and they get stressed when separated from their preferred group. Some experiments suggest snakes can learn and navigate mazes much faster than we gave them credit for, especially if the maze involves heat or scent cues rather than visual ones. Their intelligence is different from ours, driven by smell and heat and vibration, but it is there. They make decisions, they assess risk, and they learn from mistakes. Evolution doesn't stop. Snakes are adapting to us right now. In cities, some snakes are evolving to be more nocturnal to avoid human traffic. And in Australia, some snakes have evolved smaller heads, so they can't eat the invasive poisonous cane toads that would kill them. Thank you. And before you click off, I just want you to know that my goal is to keep improving this channel with deeper research, stronger visuals, and storytelling that sparks curiosity. That level of quality takes time and effort, and it is not easy to do alone. If you enjoy the content, please consider subscribing. Your support means everything.